Let's go ahead and jump into some of the characters at the very end of the latest arc of the Dragon Ball Super manga, and I want to deep dive into one that people seem to get wrong the most, and that is Broly. How powerful is Broly at the end of the latest arc? Now, if you watched the arc, if you read the arc, you would know that Broly took an interest immediately in Beast Gohan's transformation, and then he fought him. Once he fought him, he went into a controlled state after Gohan quite literally told him how to do it, and Broly was easily able to go into a controlled state of being when it comes to the Berserker rage. So how strong is this now controlled Berserker Broly? Because a lot of people get it wrong a lot of the time, and I wanted to jump into Broly first because I would like to do all the characters in the ending of the Dragon Ball Super manga arc, because we have a lot of time before the next arc, so we can kind of get a gauge as to how strong these characters are at the very end. So Broly himself is one that a lot of people have gotten wrong, but in this video I'm going to go ahead and show you guys exactly what the percentage of power is when it comes to Broly, how powerful he is compared to everybody else, and why most of you guys who are already answering are probably wrong. So immediately, just like everybody else, when I hear controlled Berserker, I for some reason think weaker, because when someone goes berserk like Broly or Kale or any of the other Saiyans, such as even Rage Trunks, Blue Rage Trunks, it's almost like they lose control of their senses. They lose control of controlling their ki and their personality, their aggression, and they go all out. So someone going all out almost seems to be like they're stronger in that moment. But with the Berserkers, specifically like Broly and Kale, it is completely different. We can take a look at Kale. Kale went berserk several times during the anime, and she only was able to defeat the Pride Troopers when she controlled her rage and was able to focus it. This control is what allows her to fight on an even playing field with alongside Caulifla. Then they took down the Pride Troopers. She is stronger because she is more focused. She has that level up, that intense strength to her, but at the exact same time, she's not losing her shit and attacking her allies in the process. Broly in Dragon Ball Super Broly is exactly the same way. He is a berserker almost every single time he touches any sort of ki. Like anytime any ki comes from his body, he starts losing his mind. He did it when he was a kid. He's doing it when he's an adult. He actually has way less control over his ki and his hidden latent abilities than even Kale did. And so when he does fight, he immediately starts losing control. He immediately starts going into the echelons of the next transformation, and this is a double-edged sword because he loses all sense of reality. He's wasting ki left and right. He can destroy the planets that he's on. He can kill the people that are around him and single-handedly defeat any opponent, but again, he has no control over any of those abilities. But his Berserker is far different than Kale's because his actually allowed him to gain levels of strength that rival even Super Saiyan Blue, if not surpass Super Saiyan Blue. So Broly is a very interesting case because he could still not control himself even as we get into the Dragon Ball Superhero arc, which is years later after Broly. He's still training with Whis and with Beerus and with Goku, trying to control his ki. And at the very beginning of this arc, of the ending of the superhero arc, I mean, we get to see that he doesn't really have control of it just yet. He's still trying to control it. It was only when he was watching the fight between Gohan and Goku that he realized that Gohan has a very similar trait to himself, to Kale, and even to Trunks as well, and that is that they can get lost in rage as well, and they have immense latent abilities and immense battle prowess. And so with Gohan literally breaking Master Ultra Instinct through sheer will, power, and force, and energy and ki, Broly was interested, and so when he fights Gohan, Gohan pushes him to go beyond himself. But right before that, he actually explains to him, or explains to Goku, why he's so powerful. Gohan tells everybody, I boosted my ki just up to the point where I might snap, while still maintaining control. That's how I'd best describe it. For now, that's the best way I found to draw out my own power. And so that is what he's using to power his beast transformation, and to power his finishers, and to power all his strength and abilities, and how to beat Mastered Ultra Instinct. Although he had to go up to the point of snapping to defeat Mastered Ultra Instinct, but still, he was able to do that and control himself. So hypothetically, Beast Gohan could go berserk as well if he were to go past the point of snapping and just lose control of all his power. Once he fights Broly understands this, and then he's able to finally control his Super Saiyan transformation. So how powerful is Broly now? Broly is the strongest that he's ever been at this moment in time. He has full control over his Berserker abilities, his Akari Rage, his Super Saiyan transformation, but he still has those latent abilities. Basically, he is essentially Beast Gohan in a different font. He is strong like Beast Gohan, fast like Beast Gohan, and so he's able to use the same sort of skill as Beast Gohan, where he goes up and powers up to the point where he's about to snap, and he could probably train this to control the Berserker Rage more fluently. There is just one immense issue, and that's something to me with Broly specifically at the end of the Dragon Ball Super Superhero arc that kind of is a huge minus here. It's something that could be detrimental to him in the future, and that is that Broly doesn't seem to have trained physically that much. He hasn't trained new skills, new abilities, new fighting techniques, not really at all, it seems like, because he fights Gohan, and Gohan quickly gets the upper hand, but he fights Gohan, and Gohan's able to kind of finesse him a little bit, pushing him into that controlled state. We see that Broly has spent all these years training how to control Berserker first, and they don't want him to lose control because he's done that already on Beerus's planet. He's done that already, as they've said, and so they don't want him losing control, and Beerus is afraid of that. He doesn't want to have to rebuild his home. So now that Broly has controlled Berserker, yes, he is extremely strong, probably rivaling or getting close to that Beast Gohan level of strength, but technique-wise, he's fodder. He was relying on his battle prowess on Vampa, where he was fighting the native wildlife. That's it. Maybe he trained a little bit with his father, but his father wasn't the best warrior either. And so you have a character here that has immense strength. He can control it now, but it's like a blank slate. He's got to start over. He's got to learn how to actually fight like a martial artist instead of a brawler, which is exactly what Goku needs to do with him as soon as the next arc comes through. Broly now is able to, as a controlled Berserker, he's now able to actually be a student under Whis or under Goku and learn techniques, because if anybody fought him at this point, even at controlled, if they were strong and if they were around that same level of strength and they had better technique, better martial arts and abilities, they could easily destroy Broly and kind of take him out. It wouldn't be very hard. So Broly, going into the next arc, he actually needs to work on his martial arts first, and then continue controlling his powers. Okay, so that's my interpretation of how Broly sits at the very end of the superhero arc. Maybe you guys have a different interpretation, but let me know in the comment section below who you want me to do next, and see you guys later.